about, his newfound identity. So look, live and let live. Dave is doing his thing. I did feel that his pivot was strange, but maybe it was sincere.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Emma Vigeland destroying Ana Kasparian. One more time on Piers Morgan, we have Ana Kasparian, a clip of Ana Kasparian saying that she might have been wrong about Dave Rubin. And we have Emma Vigeland tearing her apart, saying, you're not going to get away with this shifting, leaving the left shtick that you want to get across. You're not going to get away with it. Let's get into it.
A lot of things that I think were worthy of criticism just because we didn't, because of my past personal relationships. And I would say Anna was a friend to me. I truly loved her as a friend, and I told her that. So it's very sad. But the reality is that my principles in this business about calling out people who are doing the why I left the left shtick to appeal to the right outweighs any personal relationships I'm going to make in this space. So with that said, since this audience is so interested in Dave Rubin and how much we ruthlessly mocked his arc of leaving the left from TYT, which Anna...
with Anna in the chair you're sitting in now at one point on the Michael Brooks show.
Laughing about it. I laughed about it with her. She laughed about it on air. We mocked this a lot. And in fact, Piers Morgan will play some of that mockery as well. Just to clarify things for folks, this is her explanation for her recent pivot.
But what people have said is they said you were quite outspoken. I'll play it to you. This is what you said when Dave Rubin pivoted. Let's have a look.
There has been this prevalence of prominent figures who identify as the left, right, or on the left, who then later start to, cozy up to right-wing figures, and then it turns out that they completely move to the right wing because they're essentially paid to do it. They're used as tools by the right wing to essentially spew right-wing talking points while purporting to still be on the left. In fact, Dave Rubin's a great example of that. Dave Rubin used to work with us. He identified as someone on the left.
Dave,
yeah, go ahead.
Forgive me, Anna. Dave Rubin made a video for PragerU, Why I Left the Left.
Oh, I know.
He does not, in fact, state to the world that he's still on the left. I don't know who you have in mind, so I can only address the one name that you gave.
So, have you pulled a Rubin, as some people suggest?
I'm still pretty left-wing, and I'm still working at the exact same place. Look, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong about Dave Rubin, but I just felt that he, first of all, after he left TYT, he did lie about us, and that bothered me because we were still friends, and I didn't understand what was going on. So I was discombobulated about what was happening with Dave after he left TYT.
And right here we have Ana Kasparian walking back on what she was entirely saying in the first place, where she was calling out Dave Rubin, and now she is wanting to talk her way out of this situation as she is getting paid the exact same. She's doing the exact same thing that she called someone out to do. Now her and Cenk are doing the exact same thing. They're both getting swooped up by the maggots, by the right-wing conservative movement. And they are shifting out of the left. She even says, maybe I was wrong about Dave Rubin. It's so obvious that it's the exact same thing that's happening.
He did leave on good terms, so it was weird. And, he kept saying that he was this classical liberal, but had trouble defining what that meant and had trouble reinforcing or at least backing up some of the claims that he was making about, his newfound identity. So, look, live and let live. Dave is doing his thing. I did feel that his pivot was strange, but maybe it was sincere. Who knows?
Well, it's interesting. Somebody accused me of being
a phone hacking liar per a court in the UK, which said that, oh yeah, Piers Morgan saying he didn't know about all the journalists that worked under him, hacking into people's voicemails for information that they could put into stories. Yeah, people say things about Piers too. Oh, great company Anna's keeping lately.
Well, she's hanging out with Glenn Beck. She's hanging out with Piers Morgan and other right-wingers and doing a lot of interviews. It is interesting, though, that, Cenk's going on PBD and all that kind of thing. It is interesting that still no response to Sam Seder's both private request to have a conversation about this on air on either TYT or on the Majority Report. If they feel more comfortable with it being on their platform, they can do that there. So Sam asked that of Cenk in the summer, and then publicly, I guess 2 weeks or so, basically said we can talk about this in a conversation. No response, but very eager to go to Glenn Beck's studio and have a conversation themselves. So I think
they are taking the what they have been credited for through years of good work with a lot of good people. They are packaging up that for the marketplace and advertising it through picking a lot of fights. They've been doing this for a long time. We 2 years ago put a video up. The original title of that video was Ana Kasparian is not transphobic, where we tried to talk about the birthing person bullshit in a way that was constructive and could kind of maybe lead in a proper direction. She didn't.
Yep. So right here we have Emma Vigeland calling out the hypocrisy, calling out, well, you guys are wanting to go on Glenn Beck. You guys are going on Patrick Bet-David. It seems like you guys have made your decision. Like you guys are talking to who you want to talk to. And you know, that's fine. That's fine. If this is where you are evolving, if you are evolving into a right-wing channel, if this is your values have shifted, or if you're still figuring out your values, that's fine. But make that clear. Make it clear on what you're doing. Don't play both sides. Don't attempt to make everyone happy and get caught in the middle of the road. It's a good piece of advice if I say so myself.
Didn't listen to any of that, and instead got mad that somebody said that we were treating her with kid gloves. Because the truth was, we have been. For my entire career here at Majority Report, it has been a tongue-holding exercise for like Wolfpack, fucking harebrained. How many packs are we going to start to get money in the money out of politics? We have been.
How about one that pays Brianna Wu 5 figures for
to
doing
deny a genocide.
To post on Twitter?
If you think we're mean, you need to understand that actually that has been charitable. So
it has been based on what I have asked for, really, in part because of and because of my personal feelings about the situation and because of how sad it made me. I'm not somebody. Trust me, you can ask my exes. I didn't break up with a lot of people. I stayed in way too many relationships for way too long because I tried to make things work for quite a while. That's not what happened here. So for us, I have plenty of wonderful friends in my personal life. I know you do as well, Matt. I don't need to put my personal relationships ahead of my professional integrity.
It's kind of inappropriate to do so.
Even though in terms of like closeness, there are very few people in this field that I felt as close to as her. And at one point I would say she was my best friend in this industry. But I have to, cut bait at this point because she also made an accusation that I heard that I called her sexual assault titillating, which if I were to be charitable, I'd say she was listening to one of those like stupid crime right-wing podcasts that she seems to be a fan of these days, and they cut it up in a way that was misleading, or she's just lying about me because I would never, ever, ever do that. My case has always been that like some of these tough on crime narratives, specifically when a white woman is the subject of harm, are titillating to some people on the right who like to imagine themselves as white knights saving white women from the hordes of black poor people and unhoused folks in this city.
And again, you're being very kind because we all know as part of this business why Steven Crowder starts his show with videos of young black teenagers.
So right here, I mean, we have Emma Vigeland really saying this is nothing personal. You are still someone that I see as a friend, and that, this has nothing to do with it. But as far as the integrity goes, I cannot be aligned with you. And Ana Kasparian seems like she's just wanting excuses to turn on Emma Vigeland. She's believing some of these clip shows, some of these shows that are just farming to get drama. She's believing the shows instead of actually talking to Emma Vigeland. She might just be afraid. Ana Kasparian seems like she has a lot of shame on this idea. So yeah, it's not looking too good for Ana Kasparian or Cenk Uygur for that matter. But that's Emma Vigeland. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.